Welcome back to another video. Starting off this one with actually cutting up the FG1 some more. I thought this bracket back here was more structural than it really is. I got the plastic bumper bracket off, and I realized most of the bracket is up here in the corner. So we're going to cut off the entire arch line here on both sides down, because they're still rubbing a little bit on this corner here, and then you can see right here that's all black tire there. So cut this whole line off on both sides, and then probably come across the bottom and then maybe down across here. Just keep this main portion of the bracket because this portion here is pretty flimsy. So start off by doing that. The rear, as far as I can tell, isn't rubbing at all, even with how low it is. I don't see any markings on the tight. I mean, there's little tiny bit of marking on the edge there, but rears seem to be doing good. The fronts, like I said, it's just that little corner on both sides. You know, this one, it's actually pulled that corner down a little bit, and then again rubbing right here. So I'm going to take off this one on this side. It's pretty easy. There's one little screw there, and then use some needle nose and pop these clips out that hold it in. So do that, and I'll show you how it looks afterwards. I think it'll look a little bit better having the whole arch line cut out and not just part of it. So yay, more cutting. It looks a whole lot better cutting out the whole wheel arch. So that's where we're at now. Obviously, it gives a lot more space for the wheel. Got both sides done. I haven't done any paint on the back side yet to seal up, but it does also take off a big chunk of this bracket here. The fenders are still solid, so I mean, obviously they flex a lot more up here, but it's because it's missing a whole lot of it. I am now going to take off these headlight brackets. I don't know if I'm going to trim them up or not, because I don't really need them there. I basically need, if I cut them, I'm basically going to cut right here where it bolts in on the bottom there, and then right over here, but I don't know. At minimum, I'm going to take them off and paint them with the Steel It to just cover up this little bit of rust that's on them, because that's just annoying to look at. I also need to get some either soupy glue or epoxy or something. As you see, this headlight moves quite a bit. This tab down here behind the bracket is broken, so I just need to kind of glue it back together and hopefully it stays. Well, as you can see, the headlights are out. Both of the headlights are down here on the ground. I got the brackets out here. I already did the first coat on them to Steel It. Get rid of that little bit of surface rust that was on them. Probably do another coat on the top just because, and then we'll flip them over and do the underside as well, just to make sure everything's nice and sealed up on it. I thought about flattening out the tabs on it just to make it look a little bit better, but I'm gonna leave the tabs there in case I do decide to ever put a bumper back on this thing. I don't think that'll ever happen, but just in case, the tabs are there if I want to. Got both sides coated up double. I mean, I could have taken a sander to it and sanded down those little rust spots, but overall, it looks 1,000 times better than the surface rust that was on there. We're gonna get these back on, the headlights in here, get the headlights back on. Then we can throw the bash bar back on. I threw the bash bar off just because it's a lot easier to maneuver the headlights out with that out of the way. Since I cut off the rest of this arch here on both sides, I ended up lowering the front back down a 1/2 inch from where it was. So can't really tell from here, but once we get it on the ground, Who knows if you'll be able to tell, because I cut out basically the arch itself from here to here is not a good example on that side because it's all bent. On this one though, it's 2 to 2.5 inches here. I measured this portion here and it was like 2 1/4, 2.5. So it should be roughly 2.5 inches all the way around. So we'll see how it looks with lowering it some more and then cutting out the rest of the wheel arch. Let's put her on the ground and see how she looks. Oh yeah, that extra 1/2 inch down in the front definitely makes a difference. But let's check underneath, more towards the frame rails, and see if we have any worries in there. Don't think we're gonna have any issues, but we'll drive it and see if it touches anywhere. Maybe right there, but I don't think I'm gonna have that much suspension travel. I've got 3 fingers in between the tire and the frame rail all the way around, so I think we're gonna be good. And then I didn't touch the rear, but let's just make sure it's, oh yeah, still got plenty of clearance in the back here too, so that's gonna be it for now. These look a whole lot better being painted now. So got some interesting ideas coming up for this thing, just because I can. Stay tuned and see what we do.